So in today's video, we're going to talk about the release. I get lots of questions about this quite often because people watch videos and they get a little bit of uncertainty, and then sometimes they might watch one of my videos against another one and feel like they're contradictory. So I thought if we talk about the release, that'll hopefully get rid of some of the uncertainty that's going on. Now, the big thing that I want to clarify is the release is two types of release in the golf swing. One of them is like when we hold the club, we create an angle between the club shaft and the lead arm. And then when we swing back, that angle will slightly increase. This is known as like wrist cocking, if you like, or known as lag. And then what happens in the downswing is that angle goes, and that happens very naturally, just a natural sort of phenomenon on its own. Okay, so that sort of cocking to uncocking will materialize, if you like, based on a centrifugal type force. It doesn't matter, that part of it we're not talking about. What we are talking about is the rolling action, okay, in terms of how the arms square the face. Now, the first thing to understand is that unless, I don't even think anyone does this, right? Unless you grip the club with like a 4-finger knuckle grip like this, okay, if you did hold the club like that, you wouldn't need to worry about any arm rotation to square the face. You could simply just move your arm to the side of your body and the club face would always stay square. The reason why it's very unlikely you're doing that is because anatomically it becomes very difficult to swing the club like that. So if I held the club like this, I could only go so far. I'd have to bend my arms. So very few people would be doing that. In fact, there might be one person that watches this video that does that. So the first thing to understand is everyone else, even if you've got a strong grip to a weak grip, you are going to have some arm rotation to square the face in the downswing. That's not negotiable. That happens. We know that happens from all of the biomechanical data. Okay. Now, the question then is if we can all agree that there has to be some arm rotation to square the face. I don't want to get into the subjective nature of how you do that, whether some people hit it with the right hand, left hand, it's irrelevant, but there has to be so. Now the question then is, well, why does it look different? So why do some pros look like they release the club differently compared to others? One of the factors will be grip. Okay, and the other factor will be how connected your arms are to your body. So the first thing we have to understand is swing plane. Now, the simplicity of swing plane, and that's why I've got this little pointer here, is I've placed an alignment stick down on the ground here, and that's going to represent my target line. So if you imagine my golf ball lived, say here, and I'm swinging towards you. So the first thing is that we have to swing the club on plane, and the simplicity of swinging the club on plane basically just means that the shaft needs to travel in a straight line. So as long as the shaft, which is represented by this pointer, points down towards the target line, that basically means that I'm swinging the club on plane, right? So that's the first thing we have to understand, is everybody is doing that as well. They're swinging the club on plane at the bottom part of the swing. So bearing that in mind, if you now imagined I was going to do a little chip shot, okay, so I was going to literally, what's this, a pitching wedge, right? So I was just going to do a little chip and run shot. So I'm chipping it towards you guys. I would stand close. And all I'm going to do is, as I swing back, I would keep my arms close to my body. I would let the club travel like so, and then as I swing through, I'd keep my arms close to my body. So you can see the way that the club shaft is on plane, meaning the shaft of the club is pointing down towards the target line. But when you guys do chip shots as well, you'd probably notice your club face looks something like so. So it's pointing up towards the sky, okay? You wouldn't notice that your club face would do something like this on such a short chip shot. So then the question is, well, why? And this is the thing, you see, what happens with pros is they all move their arms slightly different. And the more your arms are away from your body, okay, the more your club face theoretically opens. So therefore, the more forearm rotation you'll need to do. So if I just go back to this pointer, if I keep my hands connected to my body, then that's how it's going to look. If my arms now go away from my body, can you see the way this is no longer pointing towards the plane line unless I introduce more forearm rotation? Okay, so what I'm basically saying is, if you wanted to produce, if you didn't like the way your swing looked really armsy like this, then the answer to that is not to try and strip away that movement, because all that will happen is you'll just miss the target. What you need to understand is that you need to try and find a way to get your arms more connected to your body. So theoretically, let me just move this up now so we can talk a little bit more about the backswing. So if we can get the hands and arms moving closer to the body, this keeps the club face squarer, okay? If we move more this way, this gets the face more open. So if you start your downswing more this way, you're going to need more arm rotation, which is why you'll look that way. If you can get your arms more connected, that's why the club will look different. So if you can keep your arms more connected to your body, it'll reduce the amount of rotation that you need to do, but there will still be some. And that's the important thing, because the amount of golfers that reach out for help, whether it's online or come through that door, and they are trying to do things like manipulate wrist positions and, you know, trying to release it differently, those things are happening as a byproduct of understanding plane and understanding arm connection. I'm really hoping this video helps you out. You guys can let me know. I'll see you soon.